lives matter. White lives matter. All lives matter.
So you heard him say there, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, booze, and then he said it again. He later apologized for that. Errol, explain what we're seeing here and what you think about this apology for that statement.
Well, what you see there is somebody who is a little removed from a movement that's been developing, including in his hometown of Baltimore. I mean, look, the reality is, when they say Black Lives Matter, they're talking about a very particular movement with a very particular history that's arguing for better or fairer treatment of a minority in this country. So then to suddenly kind of flatten it out and broaden it out and say, well, the rights of the minority have to be protected and the rights of the majority too. Well, that's mush, politically speaking. And I think the booing you heard was them letting him know that, like, that's mush. That's not what we're talking about. And so Martin O'Malley has a little work to do. I think if he wants to talk to that segment of the Democratic electorate, it's not entirely clear that he does, to be blunt about it, because the voters who were going to make the difference in the first few primary states, up in Iowa and up in New Hampshire, these are overwhelmingly white states, frankly. And so I'm not sure where this is going to go, but Martin O'Malley has got to, I think, go back to his briefing notes on what this movement is about and decide what he wants to do with it.
Well, Errol, I'll tell you this, that the people in that room, that Netroots event, told CNN that they agreed with what the protesters came in and their point of view, but they don't really agree with the way in which they did it. I mean, the protesters chanted, quote, "If I die in police custody, burn everything down. That's the only way you MFers like to listen." So that's the way they came in the room, and then you saw what happened after that. Let me go to...
And then they got angry.
Yeah, and after that, they really told them how they felt. Mark, let me come to you. What's the lesson here for O'Malley and for other candidates?
Well, and to be fair to Martin O'Malley, Bernie Sanders followed him on stage and as well had a tough time with that audience. And at one point, it was like that Bernie Sanders, the independent senator from Vermont, who is starting to get a lot of support on the left, he almost walked off stage. It was a very frustrating moment, I think, for both of those candidates on stage. But to this point, it shows how explosive this issue is. And when you have folks like that who are going to go in and interrupt an event like that, especially seeing that those are the candidates on stage who are going to be supportive of the cause, it shows you how explosive this is. And quite frankly, it is going to be an issue that permeates not only through this Democratic primary, but as we head into the general election next year.
All right, Mark Preston, Errol Louis, thank you both.
Sure.
And of course, we want to know what you think about Donald Trump, about this turning point possibly for his candidacy, also about what happened there with former Governor Martin O'Malley. Tweet us using the hashtag NewDayCNN or go to our Facebook page to share your thoughts.
Well, it was a close call for a factory worker. Rescue crews say he was, and I'm quoting here, one blade swipe away from a deadly injury. How the guy survived after falling into a meat grinder. Plus, thousands turn out to pay tribute to number 4.